Hey guys, see I'm back with another video. It's been a while, hasn't it? Uh, gonna do a tank review today on the M54 Renegade, the Tier 8 American Premium Heavy. By the way guys, now that I've got a bit more time, I'm gonna try and get a few more videos done, because while I have been streaming more, I want to do a couple more videos every now and then as well. I'll tell you guys a little more details at the end. So, M54 Renegade, in real life called the T54E2, I believe. This thing is actually a pretty good tank. Not overpowered in any way, and definitely not something that you can just YOLO about in. This is gonna get you. This is a very easy tank to punish, and this is also a tank that is better in the hands of people who know what they're doing. It's not something that every player is just gonna be able to take out and do well in. You gotta know what positions you're gonna take. You gotta know what you can do with regards to what your team and the enemy team are doing. So I'm going to start with the armor. The armor is okay. It's not great on the whole, but it's enough for some situations. And so I'll start with that. Your upper plate is nothing special, as you can see here. Like, you've got a lot that's under 200, some just over, some really not so great. Like, you've got some 180s in there as well, 190s, 200s. Yeah, there's some awkward angles, like, you know, at the back here that will bounce, but do not count on the upper plate at all. The lower plate, again, nothing particularly special here. Like, it's got that kind of boat shape, so maybe at some of the more extreme angles it'll bounce something. Like if you angle it like this, and then obviously if someone shoots like that side or something, then they may bounce. Other than that, though, not particularly strong front of the hull, which is fine. It means it's actually somewhat balanced. Sides are enough to side scrape with against most things you meet, and those massive tracks do help with that as well. Just bear in mind that the rear back there, you can see that green panel there, or it looks green to me, I am slightly colorblind to certain shades. That will get overmatched by 155mm guns, so keep that in mind. 152s, no. 155s, yes, they will overmatch that. So, yeah, keep that in mind. Actually, I think 152. No, not quite. 152s will not overmatch that. So, yeah, sides, decent enough. Just don't side scrape against anything with a 155mm gun or bigger, and you will be fine. And just also be careful not to over angle it, because it is not particularly thick. You can actually see that there's an angle here that people will track and pen you at, and then if you look up here, that for the back, sure, that's an auto bounce still, but you've got to be really careful, because as soon as it gets beyond a certain point, it's going to be easy pen. Back as well can be HE'd, so 40mm effective there. Like, overall thickness only 25.4, so most tanks that you meet will be able to HE the back of you. That's if they know that they can HE you, of course. A lot of people won't know that. So keep that in mind, that if you are fighting one of these, then yeah, if you've got some HE and you've got it loaded, blast them here. If you are playing one of these, bear in mind that KV2s can very easily pen you in the side with HE. A lot of places. So yeah, like basically pretty much this whole back section, the frontal sections, the flattest part along here, and maybe just there as well. Yeah. So bear that in mind whenever you're taking one of these out. Now, I was mentioning the boat-shaped hull as well. You can see it is rounded. The lower section is only 38.1, so yeah, 122s. If they, well, if you're angled like this, then they have potential to overmatch that, but it's not that likely, mainly because they're also in danger of the shot just going either like straight into your tracks and not hitting anything at all, or just into the dirt. So you've got a plus minus point there. It's kind of neutral. So the turret next. Very strong frontally. So most things that you meet will have very poor shots at the turret. There are some weak spots, like for example the underside of the nose, I guess you could say, right around here. There's some spots of 200 and 210 to 220. Some lower, depends how far below people are as well. Then you've got these sections here, this part here just before the little rangefinder ear. So basically the part that doesn't contain the actual optic is a weak spot as well. That's only 250, so some tanks will be able to go through that. Your cupola is your main one on your turret though. Frontally, you're talking anywhere between 160 and 190. So there's a lot of tanks that will just be able to pen that without any trouble, both tier 6 and up, either with standard ammo or premium, regardless of which one. Also, some of them again it'll be affected by range, but most will be able to go through. The top though, if you are very lucky, that's an auto bounce angle for everything that you meet. There's a tiny sliver of 30mm right there, but you're not really going to get hit there. It's not an angle where anyone's really going to do anything with it, so everyone's going to hit like here or bounce off of that part. So most of the cupola is going to be just normal ammo. It's not going to be an overmatch. Right? Obviously, side on the turret's just an easy pen for pretty much anything that you meet, so keep that in mind. Rear of the turret is an overmatch for 122mm guns or bigger. The roof as well, so if you are slightly below someone, they can, most things with, well, anything with a gun that's over 90mm will be able to auto pen that, but even then it's not really effective enough to be otherwise, so, even then, like, people aren't really going to be shooting you there anyway. And one thing you do have to keep in mind is that depending on the angle that RT is firing at, that can be penned by it, but it's not that likely. RT will hit it, but it'll not pen usually, and you'll still get hurt by it. I've been hit by RT. I've not been penned by RT in this thing so far, but I have taken hits from RT that have done something like 400 or 500 damage for the higher tier ones, and the most I've had from like a tier 6 or 7 RT is maybe about 260, 270. I've not had anything over 300. So that's the armor. Stats. This thing, it's all about the gun and the mobility in terms of everything else. Your gun, 226mm of pen on AP, 255mm of pen on APCR, both for 360 alpha, 53mm of pen on HE for 440, which is decent. You've got a decent reload as well, base of 10.2 seconds, which is 5.88 rounds a minute. You can buff that all the way down to 8.6 seconds before taking into account any bond equipment. That's just with your, I'm just talking with your standard equipment, your crew skills, and food. With your bond equipment or potentially directives, you could get it down to maybe 8.3 maybe, which is still decent for 360 alpha. There's a lot of things that you're going to out reload and you're going to consistently do damage with this thing, because the pen is easily good enough for most things you're going to face. Your dispersion doesn't look great on paper, but when you take into account if you've got good crew skills, your vert stabs, and food, then you'll find that dispersion drops to about 0.35, and your soft stats do improve quite significantly, which are already actually not that bad for a heavy. In fact, they're pretty decent. Shell velocity on this thing is really nice, 1080 on both AP and high explosive, and APCR is 1380, so very good at firing at moving targets, very good at range. Your high explosive as well is really nice for taking down thinly armored targets at range that are moving, because 1080 meters a second is very easy to aim with. Very nice. Your mobility next. 45 kilometers an hour top speed, 17 in reverse, power to weight of 16 horsepower per ton, which is not bad at all. Means you can accelerate at a decent pace. You can really keep up with the mediums pretty well for the most part, and you can really get out of the map really effectively. You can turn relatively quick for a heavy as well. 35 base tank traverse, though obviously that can be affected by the terrain that you're on, but clutch braking as well will help out a lot with that as a crew skill. As far as gun depression and elevation, 10 degrees of gun depression makes this very, very flexible. 20 degrees of elevation as well means you can engage targets on higher ground without too much trouble. The turret traverses at 34 degrees a second, which makes reacquiring targets really nice, especially when coupled with those good gun handling stats. You've got 1500 health, which is right around average for the tier, and then your engine I don't find breaks that often, and mainly because that your engine and your transmission are both in the back and being shot in the front. Not that likely that your engine will break. It'll happen occasionally, maybe if RT shoots it, or maybe if you're relocating and gets spotted and gets shot in the side, but it hits the rear, then that might happen. But really, in most situations, you're not gonna get broken engine. Your tracks may be damaged, your fuel tank may be damaged, but I've not actually had an actual engine fire on this tank yet. Ammo racks are present in the front of the tank as well, front to the left and right, so you will find that you get ammo racks every now and then. It's not really something that happens a lot though. They're not particularly big ammo racks, so you really find it doesn't happen often enough. And also you have one in the back of the turret, so keep that in mind as well. Now, view range is fantastic on this tank, 400 meters. You can really counter spot things effectively with this thing. I think with my crew I've got something like 496 meters view range when you couple that I also run food. So yeah, very, very flexible in terms of the stats there. But let's show you a little match that I had on Kharkov. Now this map, not a good map for this tank at all. This is not a brawler, this is not a city fighter. But there will be situations where there are certain hold down positions you can do well in. But overall, this tank is about exploiting people and other vehicles that are out of position. And you're going to see this quite a bit. So I'm just going to fast forward a bit. Also, you can see here that I'm outpacing most of the heavies. I'm even going to be overtaking the Tigers very easily here. Just going to speed this up so I can get to where I'm going. And here we are. So I'm going to start off here because sometimes you catch people doing dumb stuff, like this IS. Yeah, I don't know what this guy's thinking. This is not a good move at all. Should never be this aggressive, especially when people are always wanting to play hull down in this middle section of the map here. So, a couple of shots into him. 337 with the first one, 359 with the second. Now going for shots on these guys, going for a shot on the defender. It does show his side, but the gun can troll you. Yep. As you can see. So this is going to be mostly cupola sniping. You are not going to be able to cupola snipe effectively with this, as you're going to see here. And then I try again against the 53, which that's not a small cupola, and as you can see, yeah, that's 1, 2 misses. And again, that's 3. Let's speed this up. And then, yeah, the VK shows up. It's not a small cupola, but not big either. And we still hit and pen that one. Sure game. And then the rest of them... Now, I try for a shot on the side of the caravan here, but it misses. Or caravan, rather. I like calling it caravan, it's just an easier name. Try again for a shot on the cupola of the 53, but that doesn't go anywhere. Now, the VK pulls back there. You see him moving back to deal with the 2 IS-2s up the north. One of which is fighting the enemy charioteer. And the charioteer does in fact kill one of them. So I decide now that I'm going to go down this road here. I try to get a blind shot on this KV-3 here because he's just gone unspotted, but spoiler alert, that one does not hit. I try for a shot on the 45. Not a big shot here. This is over 500 meters. No, that's, yeah, not a great sniper. It can pull it off on some maps, but against smaller targets like that, not great. Good shot on the 1375 there. Don't know why he was trying to go down the middle there when there are people that can easily spot him from the one line. Also makes a mistake of breaking that building, because that just confirms that even if he went unspotted, he would be there, and I don't know why he was trying to get shots on me, which is exactly what he was doing. Going for a blind shot again here against the KV-3 just to see if he's still there. Turns out he's not. And then I decided just to start moving in on the enemy heavies here, because the Carnarvon, VK are both distracted, and the 53 TP is also distracted, so I can get like rear shots on them, I decide. And the Defender are also distracted. So the 53 TP starts running away, so to deal with the IS-22, so the rest of my team is going to clean up that Defender there. So I decide, no, I'm going to waste my time if I go after that guy, and it means I'm an easier target for the guys at the hill. Now the Carnarvon spots me there. I do put a shot into him as he goes after our IS-22. He does get picked up by the Super Hellcat, and so I take a shot there. Now I'm obviously spotted, so I wait for a minute. Well, not for long, obviously, just to get myself unspotted before I start moving in on the 53 TP, who's right there. Take the shot. I keep moving because I do not want the guys up on the hill to get easy shots on me. Interestingly, he decides just to, well, go forward against our IS-22. This lets me just start fighting the VK for free, pretty much. I get to put a shot into him really nice and easy, and before he can turn, I get to put another shot in. Yep, before he can angle his armor enough. Now I decide that I need to get around the corner because I don't want that tiger to keep shooting me, even though it's the shotgun. I take the hit, sure, he high rolls, but at this point I'm just going to out-reload him. Even though I spent a couple of seconds going around him, I'm still going to reload first, pull back to get the easy shot on the lower plate, and bam, he's gone. Now I do stop once again in just a second here, you're going to see this. Yeah, there we go, so I take a moment there. Tiger 1 clearly still has a shot on me, I'm still spotted there. He bounces, so that means it probably went straight down into the tracks instead of actually having contact with the side of the tank, so that would have been a pen. And as I go unspotted again, our team kills the enemy 53 TP. 45 TP there, getting a shot from the hill. I bounce a shot from the tiger for him. There we go. And then just moving forward here. There's the tiger. That's spotting for me and the M54 202, so I put the shot in. And then, I believe it's our 45, yep, he picks up the kill, gives half the spotting to me and the other to me. Now we're going to get really nice and easy shots on the KV-3. They do spot me, but, well, in fact, I think it's the GW Panther that spots me. But really, take the hit from him. I've not got a good shot on the KV, so I just finish off the artillery. Feels good, man. I love killing artillery. Super Hellcat gets spotted, and decides to HE my tracks, doesn't do any damage, just tracks me, so I put a shot into him, and he goes unspotted, gets blind killed by the tiger, because I think we broke the engine of that guy. Try to take a shot at the 45, let's not hit. Again, it's not a big target when it's mostly turret down there, in fact. They're not a big target at all. KV-3 is much bigger here, so I put a shot into the side of his turret. 339 damage on him. Currently rolling at just over 5,280 damage. Missed that shot on the 45, so just going to roll forward, try and get a better shot. But at this point, by the time I reload, he has no health left, and we pick up the final kill. So a very, very good match for the for the M54 Renegade there. And if we go to the post-game results, you can see that was a first class. And you guys are going to be surprised that that's a first class when you see the base XP in the next panel. But that was 5,451 damage, 516 spotting, gets me the high caliber, Confederate medal, 3 kills. And then if we move on to the next panel, yeah, 1,504 base XP. That's a lot of base XP for a first class. So good players will often find that they do well in this tank. It's just flexible enough for people who know what they're doing. We were the only person on our team to do over 2,000 damage, but the enemy team of their defender was the only one to do the same. Really good match for us. I was grinding credits on stream when I had this match. I played this one. So I had some boosters running, and there was also a half-price sale on consumables. So I only paid 10,000 each consumable instead of 20,000. But even then, I would have still made a healthy profit from this match, even though I fired all of my AP, even though I fired a couple of APCR as well. You can see there that we made 150,129 credits for the battle itself, an extra 75,065 with reserves, or your boosters, whatever you want to call them, for a total of 225,194, profit of 138,773. Even if you were to take off the boosters and then double the amount I spent on consumables, I would still have made about 40,000 credits, which is really, really nice. This tank is a fantastic tank for credit grinding, mainly because it's so flexible that you're going to get so many chances to shoot enemy tanks. I would highly, highly, highly recommend this tank overall. And that's for either a credit grinding vehicle or a crew trainer, or both. I'm using it for both. I have a very good crew in this thing already, but obviously any extra skills they can get is always good. I'm like 4.5 skill right now or something like that, which is really nice. But I'm using this mostly for credit grinding, just because, as you can see, very, very comfortable for doing so. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little review, and if you guys have any replays that you want to send me, if you've had any good matches, I'll put the link for my Discord in the description. Drop by there, put them in the battle results one, and ping me as well, just so that I know that they're there. I'll see if I can take a look at them for you. I'll try and get some more videos out. I have been streaming more. I might do some little kind of highlight ones, maybe highlight casts, where I'll take some of my better games and then maybe do some videos on those. Let me know what you think of this tank if you've played it in the comments. If not, just let me know what you think, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out, guys.